Today's video is a user's query who is Tony Lee, and he asks, how do you record in third person in Horizon Worlds? Now this might seem simple, but it's actually far more complicated than you might think. But first, I think we need to start with how to record in general in your Quest VR headset. This video is going to assume you are already using your Quest VR headset, so we're just going to dive through these real quick. The first thing you need to know is the share arrow. When you find the share arrow, you're going to be able to record, take photos. These are fantastic. If you have your Hey Facebook voice settings turned on, you can actually ask it to record video and photo. If you're into that, check out the experimental features in your settings page. You may also consider casting to a desktop using that same share arrow, then going to oculus.com/cast and recording your screen. I'm not sure if that works on your phone, but it does work pretty well on desktop. And on Mac, I have a built-in screen recorder. On Windows, I'd recommend using OBS. Now, in Horizon Worlds, we have a new wrist camera that if not everybody has, don't worry, I'm sure it'll get rolled out sooner than later. So anyway, if you grab that camera, you can grab it with your middle finger index trigger and pull it around. It has a video recording option that gives you options for vertical and horizontal. And what's so cool about this is that you can, no joke, during the time that we were making this video, the feature I'm talking about in the shot has been removed. So the first thing you need to know is the video recording options last for about 30 seconds. So you can hit the record button, then you get 30 seconds of recording. You can hold onto the camera, walk around, and get that really cool selfie perspective that looks something like that. So that's pretty cool. You can also extend it, place it, you can get static shots. Very, very cool. I've enjoyed playing around with this. I did want to point out though that it is in pretty low resolution. It's designed for Instagram Reels, and so the quality isn't super great outside of that use case or outside of VR. Now before we talk about that camera's secret feature, we want to first talk about some of the other ways you can record, which is by using a desktop computer like this one here. You can open up Horizon Worlds. We have a video on how to do desktop. And from your desktop app, you can actually walk around using your control keys and record that perspective. It does have an annoying little white dot in the center, but the video recorded on a desktop is going to be higher resolution than you can get on anything because it's not compressed, the video format. You can record it on OBS in as high of resolution as you'd like. If you don't want that little white dot in the center, you can actually put your Quest VR headset back on, and then you can actually walk around using like AirLink, or you can wire it into your computer, and then you're going to be able to get some really great shots by using that same thing. Now the most obvious one, the one we use at Vidyuu the most, is we actually hire videographers. I think this is a great method. You get a person who's typically got a pretty steady head, knows how to record in VR using the same tools we've just talked about, and possibly the ones that we're about to talk about. And so yeah, hiring a videographer is great. You can find a list of videographers at vidyuu.com/VV. That's our Vidyuu verified creator directory. And they actually have the option to list that they're available for videography work. And I know there's quite a few on there, so I'd encourage you to check that list out as well. Now, if you've done any recording using that share arrow with the recording features built into Quest 2, you're going to know that it records in a square in 1024 by 1024. It's a pretty weird one, but there is a brand new feature being slowly rolled out. Ko had it, she lost it, I just got it. And this feature, basically you go into your settings menu, search for video, and under experimental you're going to be able to turn on this video feature, which is going to give you access to a ton of new features, including stabilization, which it adds black bars if you move your head too fast. So it's like good for static shots, but not so great if you're planning to do any real like motion, because then you're just going to have black bars popping up on the side of your video. It also gives you the option to record in full HD, either in landscape or in portrait mode, which is incredible, absolutely so useful because that's way higher than what we can record in Horizon Worlds. And you might be thinking, we really haven't talked about any third-person options. We are about to. I mean, the how to record with a secondary videographer, that's definitely hiring somebody. That's the main way we get those shots. But this next one is mind-boggling. On a desktop, when you're running the Quest VR headset, you can then do a thing with that new camera in Horizon Worlds, which is where when you look at the camera... Okay, so this is the thing that doesn't work anymore. I'm going to show it to you and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's working by now, or you work at Meta and you're fixing it right now. You have it in photo mode, then you point your raycast and pull your index and middle fingers on both hands at the same time while pointing it at the camera. The camera will freeze up in VR, and the perspective of that camera will be shifted to your desktop computer. And then you can use OBS to record that perspective, which is super duper cool. The moment you close the camera down, you're gonna get the perspective shifted back to your headset, your point of view. And so that's pretty cool. I've been using that in some of my live streams, and basically what I'll do is I'll get myself set up facing me, I'll do the thing, and then I'll grab it, and I'll grab it with my middle finger using the grab trigger, and then I'll pull the camera around and get this really cool third person sort of selfie perspective. But you can also use it for locking off static shots. You can have it point away from you. Lots of really cool options. The one thing to note that is once you have it frozen in VR, you can't actually see it updating, so you can't really frame your shots, unfortunately. So what I'll do is I'll usually peek through my nose hole at the computer to make sure the shot is exactly what I'm looking for. So that's almost it. That gives you 3 main methods, but there's one more. If you have a computer lying around or a second VR headset, you could always set up that computer or VR headset to record your third-person perspective. It would be a static shot unless you have somebody else manning it, which is kind of the higher videographer item we mentioned. So definitely, using someone else or just having an extra headset or computer lying around. And with the rumor of desktop Horizon Worlds coming out, I think that might even give us some new perspectives and options, which I'm really excited to be experimenting with when that releases. And so don't forget, you can also record in-app with the new camera by just turning it into, face view mode and using the video recorder. Of course, it's only 30 seconds long and it's in pretty low res, but it is better than nothing, especially if you are planning to share it on social media. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in Horizon. Bye! And stop recording.